here into side control. So let's work on a couple of moves that are a little bit more aggressive in a sense, so kind of more counter-attacking. Typically from down here we want to try to escape the pin, get our own positional advantage, and then work on advancing from there, submitting, whatever we need to do. We might try and sort of shortcut that now with a couple of moves. Sometimes you'll get the submission, others the submission will open up the escape as well. So the first one we're going to do from this position here, we want to try and get our near arm in front of our opponent's hip. Now, if they're tight here on our head, it can be very hard to do that. So we're going to grab hold of their shoulder and their back, and we're going to do a little bump just to be able to turn our head like this. Okay, now we're going to do another little bridge, and on the second bridge, we're going to pull that elbow in here. Now we're going to do the actual move. So now we're sort of set up, we can frame. Okay, you might be able to roll that hand in and use that as well. Just depends how tight they are and where their head's positioned. If you're going to try and put the arm in front of their neck like that to help frame, don't go the long way around like this, because there's a chance you might get Americana'd. So you want to go the shortcut route. So you want to roll the back of the wrist under like that. And that takes away their ability to get that shoulder lock there. Because if I go around here, he can trap it. There's all sorts of straight arm bars and figure fours and things like that. I can remove that risk by rolling into here. Now if we can get to this position, this is ideal. So we've got two areas we can frame out, and especially this hand on the neck helps to relieve a lot of the pressure. What we're going to do is we're going to attack this arm here. Okay, so in this position here, we're going to start to frame up, and then we want our inside knee to go right under that armpit. Okay, so we have to lift our bum off the floor to get that shin inside. If you can't bend your knee all the way in there because you don't have the flexibility or the strength, then you're going to have to bridge them up a bit higher. So rather than just pushing, you might have to actually get a bit of a grip and use your whole hip. And then come in. Okay? Once that shin's in, we push the face, leg comes over the head, clamps down, pinch the elbow, and then submit from there. So he's here, he's got me nice and tight, my head's turned, there's a lot of pressure. I just cut the shoulder and the back, and I just do a little bit of a pull as I quickly free my head so I can turn both ways. Now I do a second little bump so I can get my elbow in front of his hip, in here. Now if I can, I roll my arm under and I try to keep my elbow tight. Remember, the closer your arms are to the body, the stronger you generally are. Now from here, if I need, I do a big sort of hip bump straight up, like that, and I push into his throat. That weakens the grip, lets me get my hips up, leg over the head. This one clamps down. Make sure this inside knee isn't too deep like this, because now we just shift his weight, and he's going to come straight out of it. So you want your foot on the back of their shoulder. So we get into this position here, bump up. So as you come, thinking about that foot gets locked on the back of his arm. Throw the hips up high, clamp down, pinch the knees, and if his hand's still under your armpit, even better. That's a tighter finish there, just arch up. If it comes out, just grab it, and then finish normally from here. Or you can try to break his posture with the leg, and then work on finishing once you come on top. Okay, because whenever he's got this here, he's limited a lot of my options. Okay, so let's just say we're in this position again. We'll always start, maybe worst case scenario. So we're going to do the same thing, cup that shoulder, bump to get our head free. Now this time we're going to roll our arm in here, so it's on the shoulder, and use that to make a bit of space. Now hip escape to get our elbow in, and then we're going to circle our elbow through here so that we can get to this frame position. Okay, so now when he's trying to hold my head, I've now got this. Okay, so let me just move around, trying to cup my head. Yeah. If he tries to circle his arms inside my arm so that he can get my head like that, I just have to make sure as he does it, I do it as well. Okay, so we've got this constant back and forth trying to keep him from holding my head. Because now he's got much less control over the rest of me because he can't do this. Okay, so I'm constantly doing that. A lot of the time in this position here, they feel like they're losing control, so they'll go over your body and try to control you here. Because now I've lost that ability to stop the crossface. He's kind of doing it with the back of his arm from the other side. And now if he wants to go back to the original position, it's very easy to do a shortcut there. I don't have any space. Okay, so we're going to go from here, we get our head free. We circle our arm in, frame and move our hip so that we can get our other hand in. And here you can sometimes just hold your hands together or you can just push it, sort of up to you. We're going to frame and get hold of their arm. Okay, now he's going to be moving around trying to cross face me. When he's ready, he's going to now go over the head. I'm going to follow it so that my hand, just turn this way, so that my hand that was closest to his wrist as he goes over is going to be behind his elbow. My other hand, I'm now going to grab his wrist and I'm going to start pulling back in as I slide over the top and grab my own wrist here. Now I turn onto my side and I put that pressure on there. This is a very fast move. Okay, you often catch it on people as they try to go for it. So he's here, I've got this position here, he goes over, and I do that. And again, if I don't get the submission, because I don't have control over his body. So the good thing with most submissions when we work that position submission method is that he can't move his body to compensate because we're controlling it with our position. We don't have that now. So what will happen often is what just happened then. They'll roll off and then we'll come on top and use it as an escape. So we're here. Okay, he's got this controlled. Bump, get my head free. Circle, now turn onto my side slightly, which means I'm pushing myself away as much as I'm pushing him away. Because remember, it's easier to move me away from him than him away from me. Okay, so now I just make space here. He goes over, I follow. One hand on the wrist, the other goes over the arm and I grab this figure four. Now as we come back, I drive my elbow down like that. If it lets me come up, it lets me come up. If he tries to stay in position, that's when he'll get submitted. Okay, so if he's really trying to fight against me doing it and stay there, that's when I'll tap him out. So usually as he's trying, he'll realise and he's just going to go with it. Yeah, and then we come up and we've escaped the position. If he knows that I'm trying to get half guard, things like that, he'll often have this hand here because I can't roll away anyway if this arm's trapped. Okay, this being here means I can't go that way anyway. So his number one thing he needs to watch out for in that instance is me turning in and getting him into a guard. So this hand here will help to prevent that. But what that does is it gives us a couple of options for attacking that near side arm and for his neck as well. So we'll go over that now. So the first one we'll do from here, since we're on the arm lock kind of school of thought, we're going to do a little bridge. You can have your arm in front or not for this one, it's kind of up to you. Bridge and pull your elbow down. Okay, because he doesn't have that underhook, it's not as imperative that we get to here to frame because it's not as hard. So we're going to get this arm inside and we're going to now walk it under his body. I don't know if you can see my arm over here. I'm going to walk it over here and I'm going to hold onto his wrist. So if you can't see over this way, I'm trying to hang onto his wrist here. Okay. So I was in this position here, I just bump, elbow in, and now I circle my hand through and I grab his wrist. Now I'm going to turn my hip slightly and drive my knee inside. So I want to have counter pressure where I'm pushing my shin up as I'm pulling in like that, putting pressure on his arm. Now as I pull though, I sort of want to rotate it slightly up that way. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just in this position here. I now rotate it up and my other leg comes over the top, stretch, and I'm trying to hook his forearm with my instep here. Now at this point here, you can lock your other leg over the top if you like. Grab hold, and now from here, just start to rotate your hips. Okay? You don't even need to lock if you don't want, you can just hang on to their body. Some people will finish it just with their leg on the floor, like that. But the risk there is he straightens his arm and it pops off. So if you can, so you get the wrist in this position here, slight hip escape, drive the knee into the crook of the elbow, pull that up so your other leg can come over, and now I straighten to make space for my foot. Now I just go back a little bit holding on. If you can finish it holding on, that's great. Okay? But oftentimes you want to put your other leg over because now he can't straighten his arm. So now as I put the pressure on, here, try and straighten your arm on this next one. Yeah, see how you can't straighten it there? Because my other leg's holding it in place. And now I just point my knees basically away from the two of us. And I'm kind of omoplanar-ing, Kimura, blocking him sort of thing. So we're in throwing control here, but this time to stop me getting the half guard, he puts his arm in front of my hip. So a little bit of a bridge, pull my arm through and circle it in so I can grab hold of his wrist here. Now once I'm here, I'm holding on to him tight because I don't want him to just bail out if I'm going for this move. However, if he does posture it, then I just frame and I get my guard back anyway, so it's not the end of the world. So I get to here, I manage to hold on to his wrist, slight hip escape, knee comes in and I want that tension pushing and pulling. Circle slightly, bring the leg up, and now I kick the leg through so I can get my foot in behind his forearm. Leg comes over and I'm trying to keep that elbow bent here. And now if you can bend it and keep that on the floor, it's even better because now I've got it locked, plus I can use my feet to help me twist. Okay, so I'm turning my knees away, like that. If he's lucky, he might roll. So as I go, he'll forward roll. And now I land, and now I can let it go and finish on top, or sometimes you can just change your hips and you can finish them in the same position on top anyway. So this time again, I can't get to my half guard. If that arm's trapped, I can't roll away. Okay, so same thing before. If I need to take pressure off my head, hold, bump. Now I'm going to do another bridge and get this arm in again. Now I'm going to bring this hand through, but instead of this time, this hand grabbing his wrist, I'm going to put it up under his armpit. Okay, so you want to go behind his arm here, not in front here. Okay, so here I bump, arm comes in, and I go underneath his arm. Now at this point here, I'm going to start walking away from him, and as I do it, my hand is going to go, if it's on this side of the head, to the other side. So I'm in this position here, and I use this hand to sort of push him up. This one comes over the head. I keep walking, and now this arm pulls his arm down. He's going to move and make it hard. So then I'm going to come all the way up instead. Okay, into a head arm triangle here, and then I scroll, and then I go. Okay? So this time, just to clean it up. Now you can do what I just did there, you can just follow them and finish it, but try not to, I'll just show it like the basic one first, so if you put that in front. So here, again, head free, another bridge, gets my arm through, under the armpit. So now as I walk, this is here, and I move, and now from this position here, as I come around, I lock. Okay, so the hand is under the armpit, pushes his arm down, my hands around his head, just stay there for me so it makes it easy. Yep. Grabs his, my bicep, and I grab here. And now I can just walk and squeeze and finish from there. If he tries to go either way, so just move wherever you're going to do, I just stay on it, I feel where his weight is, and I just go with him. If you end on top, you want to try and turn so that you're facing his legs. Okay, these chokes here work much better if you can face the legs and put the weight down. Okay, now we go back. So if we're here and I'm trying, it goes the other way, so move the other direction. Yep, that way. No, yeah. Then from here, I just keep rolling, and then I use my legs to bring you back around. Okay, so come back up. So here, I'm trying to get that angle to finish, but he starts sort of moving back across my body. Yeah, where I'm not going to get it there. If he goes too far, I will get it, and then I can get my hips out and come up. So there's sort of like a fine line for him between too much and not enough. If he goes just enough, yeah, now I'm not going to finish it. So I swing my legs towards him, swing back, and then I go belly down. I come all